Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing? Happy Sunday. It is that time of the month again where we sit here and talk about things, stuff, and other topics. Yes, the three major ones: things, stuff, and others. Uh, hello, Trail Dust, David Hastings, Ben Toombs, Jeff Killian, Creating with Jack Pines, Clara Bison. How the heck do you say that? Bison? Bison? Hello, Clara. And Ben. Shut up, Ben. Um, and Transcendental Artist Studios. I'm here with Adam and Alexis, and we are the Impractical Blacksmiths. We get together and chit chat every other Sunday. Um, every 2 weeks. I mean, there's really no easy way to say it. It's a long, drawn out phrase that we are here bi-monthly. So, anyway, how was your 2 weeks?
Adam, you go first.
You guys were expecting me to say a lot
And
today.
Tim.
I have a lot. So.
No, I don't have a lot. It's been raining about 3 times a day, about an hour each time, every day for the last however long, particularly this week. And it took me 3 days to do my lawns. So, I can't do anything at the moment because I walk out to certain parts of my yard and I sink 1.5 inches. And that's just my body weight. It's the ground is that wet at the moment.
I do too, but for different
I haven't
reasons.
done anything. I haven't done anything. I haven't been able to do anything. I wish I could. I'm getting frustrated. I'm actually It's actually starting to get depressing. It's starting to get to me mentally. That I'm trying to keep positive and keep myself doing other things so that I don't crack. I pulled a Roman emperor the other day, and I just ran outside into the yard when it was raining, started screaming at the sky like that. It was just absolutely swearing and going off my nut at the sky. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep my screws tight so they don't rattle loose, and yeah, keep saying at the moment that and yeah, among that I've had a various. It's been one of those weeks where I've been extremely busy, but nothing's done, um, and that's just outside of home. Like Friday, I spent the entire day running around like a headless chicken, trying to get something organized that I had entrusted someone else to organise 2 months ago, and it wasn't done, and the deadline is tomorrow. So, well, today here in Australia, being first thing Monday morning now. So, I now decided that I'm no longer entrusting that job to anyone else, and I'm doing it myself, so that I don't get left in absolutely screaming lurch like I did this week. So, but yeah, basically that's pretty much it. That's all my news. Like it's seriously nothing interesting. It's just me trying to hang on with my fingertips and do get lots of nothing done. It's weird, but yeah, I know you understand that getting lots of nothing done. I mean, it's because I remember you having a conversation with you about those sorts of weeks. So
yeah, where you're busy as dog shit. You have so much going on, yet nothing really gets done. It's like, you spend half the time like either setting up for something or the driving or whatever, and it's like all to get like a couple of hours of actual work done in a week. It sucks. The worst feeling in the world.
Indeterminate crap. It's not like nothing you can go, I got that done this week. It's just bits and pieces of nothingness that just are essential to get done, but it's kind of like, well, it's nothing really. It's just, yeah. So yeah.
Well, Trail Dust spent the last 2 weeks taking pictures of tape measures, but that's actually a very important task because you have to make sure they're all calibrated.
Yep.
Well,
And
see,
I
Yamez,
did see those pictures.
if you had seen the pictures, Yamez, you would understand. It's freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was art. It was tape measure artwork. It really was.
Every day of the week, a new art piece. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. You never know what the tape measures are going to be doing the next day.
Yeah. It was very reminiscent of those Instagram/TikTok videos where like people would use there'd be a tape measure for something and then they'd like nail it in place or something and then go and use another tape measure to do something else. It was very reminiscent of, not the same sort of thing, but very reminiscent of that. It was fucking hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. So my 2 weeks, I spent. I came back to work. I want to say last Sunday, I think it was, and I don't remember. It's all a blur at this point. I came back from days off. I took 8 days this last time because I wanted to do have spring break with my kids, and I also, I my usual appointments in the middle of the month that I have, and I went ahead and took those days for my appointments plus all of spring break with my kids, and that was a pretty decent time. Um, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. When I came back, there was no work, and they were like, everybody's like, oh, the whole time you were gone, we worked one day, and I was like, oh, boy, I sure picked a good time then. And then I came back and I didn't work for like 4 days. And then I started back this week. So last Sunday, I started with a 30-hour day and then followed that up with a 20-hour day. And then and on and on and on. I wound up with 112 hours this week, which is sweet. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am so out of it right now that I mean, like, usually the boss man's texting me at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, hey, I need your time. And I thought about this at 2 a.m. and what I usually do is before, when I had my other phone, I had the PDFs of all of the paperwork on my phone, and so I could fill them out in Acrobat, and I could just email my boss the PDFs of the truck tickets, the timesheets, and all that stuff. Well, when I got my new phone, I didn't download Dropbox to it, and I was out in the middle of nowhere with no service and only the rig's internet, the guest internet for the rig. And so I didn't really have the ability to download Dropbox, try to figure out what the hell my password and login information is, because that's on my PC. And so I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna get my ass chewed for not having my paperwork in on time. And I made it all the way to the yard, pulled up, jumped out, and I'm sitting in here doing my paperwork. Very first thing, I want to get it to the boss before I get the text message, which means now he noticed I'm late with my paperwork. And so I got I'm doing my paperwork, and I kept transposing numbers. Like for the life of me, in my signature, Alexis, I could not get the I. No, I'm telling myself, and I'm spelling it while I'm writing it, and every single time I signed my name Alexs, and I'm like, damn it. I couldn't get it. And then, like, on the next to the last truck ticket, I went and put in the date, and I was like 28th of March 2027, 2025. I don't know why I thought I was going to write 2027. And then on my last ticket, the one that I just filled out for what I came in from, I totally wrote 2027 on the date. I have no idea why. I mean, like, so that's how tired I am. I'm just like, I've got to screw loose in every direction. I can't write. I can't think straight. It's just exhaustion. And so that's the first time I've ever gotten like dates wrong like that. Not physically not been able to write a letter in my name. That's crazy. Other than that, let me see. So man, I don't really want to get into that story right now. Yeah, no, I mean, on the other side of things, today is Transgender Day of Visibility. In case y'all didn't know, I'm trans. I mean, surprise. If you gotta, I mean, don't know what to tell you if you hadn't figured it out by now.
What?
I know. Adam, I'm sorry. I really should have told you at least first.
Bugger!
My
Wish I
bad.
had known that.
News to me.
But in this day and age, visibility is actually quite dangerous, and so it doesn't mean today what it has meant in the past. Right now, for a lot of people, visibility can get you disappeared really fast. So I'm okay, and like I dare a motherfucker. I mean, I had to, that's the only way I could put that. I tried to figure out another way to put it, but I'll be okay. I'm not afraid of the people around me. I am afraid of my government, but not the people. The people around me are really freaking cool. But there's a lot of people that don't have that luxury right now, and so this year everybody's kind of, not everybody, but a lot of people are kind of keeping it demure, I guess, or just kind of letting this one go by because it's not worth compromising your safety over anything like that. I'm going to leave that one there. I had one other item of business. I needed to bring up Yamez. I really need you to get into the shop at least once a week. Carve out an hour of any day. I don't care if you get up at 3:00 in the morning and do it, and get in your shop and light a fire. You really need to do that because I can't right now, and so I need to live vicariously through you. And
Me
that's
too.
all
Me too.
Seriously. I mean, like, instead of playing a video game, light a fire.
I have been consuming blacksmith content like nothing before, simply because, like, as everyone knows, my workshop's half built, right? I can't get my tractor down there. I can't get my vehicle down there or anything to do any more work, because as soon as I start to drive down the track that I've got pushed to it, it sinks. I've nearly bogged my tractor twice in the last 6 weeks trying to get down there.
You bogged your tractor. You bogged your tractor.
Yes.
You bogged your tractor.
Yes.
Did I hear
Yes.
that? You bogged your tractor?
Yes. Nearly bogged my tractor.
So what y'all are saying is that my shop is your only hope of some hot metal on metal contact.
That's the reason why we're asking the rest of the chat, because you going out the workshop is like really unlikely.
Yeah. Of the three of us, you're the only one with an assembled shop right now.
Yeah, and of the three of us, you're the one that hasn't been in the workshop for the longest.
All right. Maybe today I might. So after this recording, I have to run to the store, get some grocery shopping done. I only drink 2 cups of coffee, but I'm out of tea, so I made another pot of coffee. Then I have to create a song and a new set of ambient audio and finish editing a podcast that is ready to go this Wednesday. Then I have to begin preliminary editing on the second part of it, while also helping set up for a community recording session and play session. And I have some other behind the scenes stuff going on for that token project that I can't talk about in case there's anybody in here that would be like, oh, that's outside of credit. But I might
real quick before I lose it. Clara said, I miss hearing Yamis say good night fire. All right. So the reason I swear to God, the reason I wanted to tell you need to get back in the shop is because last night when I went to bed, I'm laying there hugging my body pillow and I'm saying to myself, good night fire. It's the only freaking 2 words I knew. I didn't know where I heard it from. Like it's been that long. I'm like, good night fire. Like, just like you say it, but I don't know what the next, and I honestly don't know what the next line is.
Good night, fire.
Spent like maybe 10 minutes.
Good night, coal.
10 minutes laying there
good
saying
night,
good night, fire, and I couldn't.
Good night, glow.
I couldn't. and I couldn't remember where I'd heard it from for about 10 minutes. I was like, oh, it's Goodnight Fire from Yamez's streams. I was like, God, I really got to get him back in the shop. But if I couldn't remember where I'd heard it from. So
Maybe
I had to tone it down a little bit. My neighbor's sleeping.
maybe I'll do a. I've been wanting to and really wanting to do it. Maybe I'll edit together a good, like a professional, good, Goodnight Fire video. You know.
No, I don't want you. I don't want you to just do a video of you saying Goodnight Fire. I want you to make something.
Okay, I'll make a video
and then say Goodnight Fire at the end of the video.
Mm-hmm.
David hates it. Yummy.
Because what it's gonna turn out is you're gonna be sitting on your couch, lighting your Bic lighter, going, "Goodnight Fire."
Either that or it'll be some AI film clip.
Oh, that's not gonna work. Distance isn't right.
I could use AI to enhance video. No, that on my editing software, the AI aspect of it costs $400, and while it looks fun, I'm not spending $400 on editing AI. it might make life a million times easier for me, but I'm not dropping $400 on editing software. Hell no, not unless it comes with the board that you can get with it too. That I would do. An editing board, price.
David Hastings deleted it. He said, "Yeah, man," at the end.
Yeah, man. but yeah, no, I'll do what I can to get in the shop. I mean,
yeah. Dust. That's legendary.
I got a $20 super chat that says he doesn't.
I can't take bets on my future actions.
Yes, we can, because we know it's a guaranteed winner. The odds on that are 1.001.
Go to work and plug that in there, Adam. Tell us what we come up with.
I don't need to plug it in. I can tell you 1.001.
Speaking of keyboards, David, I got a new keyboard. I know a lot of people don't know it, but like, a new laptop keyboard that I need to swap out. That's another thing I got to do today. When I type, I like claw my keyboard, and I can't read any of the letters. It's all just scratched off. I've got some stickers for letters where I need them. But yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna replace that keyboard, and then another couple of years I'll have to do it again. Something you just reminded me. Clara said anyone around NYC want free Bitum. I don't know why that reminded me of it. Yeah, we are actually in a burn ban right now. I mean, it's weird because like the I don't know if
now I get to spin it.
I
There
think
you are.
everything froze, even Discord froze. Everything just froze on me. Y'all okay?
You're back. We can hear you.
When did I stop? Oh my God, there's errors everywhere.
Yeah, you said, speaking of, anyone around, and then that was it. You went silent. You were reading about Clara's.
Yeah, we're actually in a burn ban here. And it's weird because the line on the map is, like miles north of me, but like all the signs by all the fire departments down the road all have the signs saying burn ban and high risk fire because of the winds and dryness. We haven't had rain in like a few days. And did I lose you guys again?
No, you're there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's It's just us listening to you talk about the weather, you know.
So my 2 weeks.
It's me listening to you make excuses.
You bitch. You bitch. My 2 weeks, yeah. So super freaking busy. In the best way possible. Like I know a lot of you guys may remember how it was like slow work weeks and everything, and you know, some of you may remember me talking like, yeah, I had like 9 hours this week and the rest of it was all prep work or clean this, clean that, whatever. Yeah, we're back to, you know, full weeks and jobs and booking out weeks in advance, and you know, very good stuff.
I'm glad for you, young man. That's good.
Yeah, we've got two, apparently like the first two big jobs were, you know, restaurant build outs, and it's like commercial kitchens. It's like, yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, beyond that, it's pretty much, you know, like the same old stuff that I've been doing. The D&D podcast is going great. We've got we're actually sponsored now, so like that's really cool. And I don't know if I am allowed to or what, but should. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, we're sponsored by K9 Finance, which is a big like billion-dollar corporation thing or billion-dollar project. So cool. You know, our first sponsor.
Hashtag fourth socks, Trail Dust.
Hashtag fourth sock. But yeah, so a lot of stuff going on there, and
I wonder.
Huh?
I wonder if anybody in this chat gets the hashtag fourth sock joke, or
I don't.
Are all those people gone?
I don't know if they know it. I know Trail Dust and Ben Toombs might know it. Raise your hands in the chat if you know where the hashtag fourth sock came from. That was an era ago. Or two.
That was from spring of 2019.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've been around for that, and I don't remember that.
It was from the spring fling at Ting Tings.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't know it, because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't film all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All we filmed was Red and Jared and John Norwood doing the like 5-person group striking thing. That was pretty cool. That's still pretty cool.
I also did a video chat with you guys at that one, a couple of times, but yeah, no, I didn't hear about the fourth sock.
Yeah, it was something to do with the sock being left out in the rain or something. I legit can't remember the specifics.
You had like 4 socks, right? You were wearing, at some point in time, you were wearing 2 pair of socks, and they were in your tent, and they were pretty ripe or something like that. So you threw them out the door overnight, like, because they were stinking up your tent, and then forgot all about them, and the wind blew them around or whatever. And when James walked around cleaning up after everybody left, he only ever found 3 socks. He's like, "The fuck did you do with the 4th sock?" It
was so bad it got up and walked away by itself.
Yeah, that's right. I think a goat ate it.
Like a gay ass goat.
One of Ting Ting's famous gay ass goats. Oh man. So spring is around the corner. No, spring is here. Spring is here. Yes, not around the corner. So yeah, in honor of spring being here, we're gonna talk springs a little bit. Yeah, springs are really good for you put them under things that you don't want, you know, to hit the ground too hard. Yeah, and that's all the only use I can think of for springs.
On your shoe for jumping really high.
Yeah,
Moon shoes. Yep. They're great for trampolines.
yeah, and that's about it. So that's our show on springs. There's nothing else you can do with a spring. So that's our show. Final thoughts, everybody.
The chat hasn't said anything. I'm rather
They're not
surprised.
falling for it. They're not falling for it. No, Springsteen.
Okay.
I remember first getting into blacksmithing, and like coil spring was like the metal. If you get like some coil spring, you can make all sorts of things, and it's like you still can. It's like it's a fantastic metal. But I do remember distinctly like how to, like Google searching or YouTube searching how to straighten a coil spring, and seeing so many videos of people like heating up a little portion of it and then using their tongs and a vise and banging it, and taking hours and hours and hours, and they're saying this is the only way you can do it. This is for this is the only way to do it. This is blah 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 blah. And then I saw a video pop up, and it's a dude just heats up the whole spring, puts it on a post in his vise, and just puts some vice grips on it and walks backwards, and it uncoils into a 15-foot piece of steel. And it's like, that was like the easiest. Like, why does anybody struggle with coil spring? And this dude just like effortlessly. Yeah, it's that easy. Yeah.
I still struggle doing it the old way because I didn't have enough room to do it the new way.
Yeah. But like, even that, like the whole, like, I can straighten a spring without a hammer, and without even doing the whole drag thing. Now that I've learned, it's like take it, heat up, even if you just have like you do the thing where you cut down one side of it, so you have a bunch of circles. Which, side note on that, if you do that, if you find a spring with a good circumference or whatever that you want to work with for like a dishing swage or something, you do that, pop it out, heat it up, get it all so it's all flush, and then boom, you have like a really nice, quick, easy dishing swage. Like boom, boom, boom. You can even like take and weld a flat piece on the bottom so it'll hold into the vise, and boom, you know. Or am I just getting?
I was more thinking weld 3 tabs on it so you can drop 1 tab into your hardy and the 2 tabs go over the anvil face, and that way you can actually work on the anvil face.
That would work too. My point is it's like it's a great easy base to get started for addition swage, or using that same technique for different applications that you need like a nice solid ring. Those people, I saw the hand forged curtain set, there was the curtain bar, the finials at the end of it, and they did the hand forged rings. I'm getting faces from you guys like I'm crazy.
I don't know. I'm listening. I'm actually thinking a really easy way to do that would be a motorcycle coil spring that goes around the outside of the shock absorbers. If you cut down the side of those and
They make great
straighten
curtain
them out,
rings.
there's a really
Yeah.
really easy curtain rings.
Yeah. So
Or quad bikes.
or you can
Rings
do
or whatnot,
what everybody else does, is straighten it out and make a katana or something out of it. But
I've always used coil spring for chisels and punches.
chisels and punches work great from coil spring.
Yeah. But I have a trick, and a couple, and it's actually something I think I got it from Roy. If not, it might have been Black Bear. I flatten one side, so when I'm forging out the coil spring for a punch or a chisel or whatnot, I will flatten one face, and of course that'll automatically kind of flattens 2 faces. I don't do it super serious. It's just I spend a minute or two just flatten it out one face so that when I set it down on the anvil, it doesn't roll away on me. Nothing worse than trying to chase it, put the chisel down and roll off.
See, every time I hear that phrase, super serious, I always get like in my head this weird, funny little comic strip flyby, and it's like, by day I'm serious, but by night I'm super serious. I need to light up another one.
I think you lit up too many.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'd agree there.
I was editing all day yesterday. Like, I mean, I woke up at like 8, which is sleeping in on weekends for me, and I got up at 8, drank my coffee. By 9:30, I was editing. By that time, I'd wake and bake, drank my coffee, had a little bit of Blue Dream, and rolled up a bunch of spliffs for the day, and like pretty much every cigarette had a scoopful in it, and it was fantastic. The whole day, like, I didn't stop until like 10, 11 p.m. and I'm like, oh shit, it's late, and I was just sitting there like editing, listening, editing, cut, paste, blah blah blah, and I was just like, holy shit, the day was just went, and I was like, oh, this is wonderful. Wait.
You're welcome, Tim. I'm glad you do. Well, that was really hastily made, but we had fun making it.
Clara mentions that she's got a tiny forge, so it's hard for her. I'm assuming talking about the coil spring, to get the coil spring heated up. One trick I've seen people do, and yeah, you can't do the whole piece, but unless you need a 10-foot piece, if you do that ring cut trick where you cut just one side down it and take that piece, if you set it right on the middle of it, inside, just right on the end of the forge, so that dragon's breath and everything starts heating up the middle of that spring. You then stick it in the hardy hole and then bend it up, and then you've got kind of that wavy thing, and it is easier to fit in the forge. So don't ever let the size of the forge stop you from doing what you want to do. You just got to get creative.
Yeah, she's got like a little she got a little charcoal forge. It looks like about the size of a hibachi.
Oh, okay, yeah, but same concept. If you can physically get just one piece of, like, the middle piece of a ring into that, and then a hardy hole or vice, or even the old hit it with a stick, a stone on a stick, you can get that straightened out, and then everything just goes easier from there. If you can get it from a circle to like an M shape, it's just easy as pie to work with. Yeah.
That's how I kind of do it in my charcoal forge as well. I heat up the middle of the ring, put it in the hardy hole, straighten it out, and then I actually use my vice, and I just heat up the end and then put it in the vice and kind of clamp down on it and use the vice like a press and straighten it out that way, and then turn around to the other side.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm envisioning her forge as a Whitlock forge, but I don't think it's a Whitlock forge. Yeah. But yeah. So we actually are talking blacksmithing, and I like it. All thanks to John Burnell for complaining and never letting up, ever. Always complaining. Wakes up. Coffee's too hot. Lunch is too cold. Yamas isn't doing blacksmithing anymore. Spring.
Well, I mean,
just right.
but hey, since John's retired and gone full time now, maybe he'll be in a better mood.
Yeah. We'll see about that. I'll do what I can to not let him be in a better mood. So maybe I'll forge something, but do it purposely wrong.
John's the blacksmith version of Goldilocks.
But yeah.
No, so coil springs are actually really versatile. In my experience,
Oh,
I've made
easy
a
with
whole
the
heap of
versatile. This is a family show now.
I believe it's pronounced versatile.
So all of my for those people that know me and know I do this, I make didgeridoo special didgeridoo chisels, for making didgeridoo, and I've actually sent quite a few. I think quite a few around Australia, and I've sent 1 or 2 around the world. It's a little bit difficult sending them overseas because they can maximum of a meter long, but they're all my didgeridoo chisels are made from coil spring, simply because they're a basic hardenable steel. I don't have to do any super special heat treat to them. And when they're annealed, they're still relatively tough steel, which means people can hit them with hammers at the end and all that type of stuff, which they do, of course. But they all, because of the length, they've still got a little bit of weight that they can be used. And so yeah, it's I find them really handy to always have some coil spring on hand, because you never know when you're going to need it. And I don't cut it up. I leave it as a full coil, because that gives me the versatility of being able to go, okay, I need
Versatility.
3 foot, or you're just going to continue forever to pick on the difference between
No,
Australian
I'm
and American.
making up pronunciations to mess with you. Yeah, everybody else thinks I'm just as crazy. I will say you should write a book called The Didgeridoos and Didgeridon'ts of Didgeridoo Making.
I would if I actually knew what the didgeridoo making was.
Okay.
I do actually have a friend, though, that makes didgeridoos, and I might suggest that to him.
Yes.
And he's a world-renowned didgeridoo player, so he's traveled all over the world doing didgeridoo playing.
I'd love to try playing a didgeridoo, and I surely
who did we
don't
hear play one.
I don't know.
Was it Steve?
Might have been Steve.
At the last gathering at Hans's, you brought out the cock shell, conch, and then and he brought out the didgeridoo.
And we had a duet, yeah.
Yeah, and it was all echoing through the canyon at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's so weird. I'd rather put my lips on a conch than make it look like I'm filleting a treant. So I mean, like didgeridoo company, you can't wait to get your lips around our wood.
But yes.
And on that,
I completely forgot.
On that note, a word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legend.
You can fillet the tree end. Oh, you derailed my train of thought there, Yamis.
Oh, I lost my
completely.
We'll need to find a roux with dwarfism to send to Ben.
Yeah.
It's called a wallaby.
Oh, there you go.
They look exactly the same, but they're smaller.
Well, I'll be darned.
My dogs were going off this morning because there was one like 5 meters from my bedroom window. But yes, and Ben could still fit in its pouch.
Got to be careful when Ben goes to Australia. He might get kidnapped by a kangaroo.
He's more likely to get kidnapped by a wombat. Short, stocky ground dwellers. Anyway, Ben acts like a wombat too.
Yep. What?
So
Square
people
square
outside Australia
poops?
won't get that joke. No, eat fruits and leaves.
Oh, I was gonna say, or digs a hole and sticks his butt in the air. I know about wombats. I know about wombats. They twerk their
Wombats,
enemies
some
to
very
death.
cool animals. They do, literally.
They do. They twerk their enemies to death.
Mm-hmm.
They're armored marsupials because they've
Well, their
got
butts are anyway.
yeah.
Wombat combat.
I had a guy I used to train with that was short and stocky and very hairy, and he was a combat wombat.
Now we need a Mortal Kombat remake called Wombat Combat. Wombat Combat, and it's all the characters, but they're wombats.
Adam, remind me. I got a Roo wrestling story for the after show.
Okay, I'll attempt to remind you.
Yeah, if you remember, huh? If not, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yep. See, a lot of people think wombats are these tiny, like tiny little cute creatures, right? Those things can be about, okay, so if you think of your average sedan, let's say a Camaro, right? A wombat can stand on it, like when it's standing on its four legs, half to 3/4 the height of the bonnet. So going up the front, the grill, 3/4 the way up the grill, it can stand that tall to the top of its back, right? And they are solid muscle, so they can be up to 300 kilos of solid muscle. So you hit one of those things in a car, it's like hitting a moose that's laying down. I've seen them right off cars, and then the wombats will get up and walk away. They are solid, ridiculously big. And full grown ones, like in zoos and stuff like that, full grown ones you can't pick up.
We have
when you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you see pictures of zookeepers and stuff like that holding them up, those are juveniles.
I want to ride a.
We have a problem down here in Texas with feral hogs, and I mean it's rampant enough to the point that there is no season for feral hogs. You can shoot them at any time, and you don't even have to have a hunting license. You can just go get them anytime, not anywhere, because obviously you have to have permission from a landowner, and because there's no private land in Texas, it's all private. So I mean, obviously you can do it on your place or a buddy's place, whatever, but there's no season, no license required, because they just tear shit up. And I remember a while back, I come out of location from a night shift in the morning, and I pull off of the lease road onto the pavement, and there's a dead animal off in the bar ditch, and it's laying on its side, and it's every bit of 4 feet tall, laying on its side, and maybe 9 or 10 feet long. And my cousin's like, "Man, that's gotta suck. Somebody hit that cow." And I looked over, and I was like, "That's not a cow, that's a hog." And he's like, "That's not a hog, that's a cow." And I was like, back it up. I was like, take a closer look, and he looks at the head, and he's like, "How the fuck do hogs get that big?" And I was like, "That's feral hogs in Texas. That sucker right there is probably 1,500-1,600 pounds. That's a big pig." And I mean, and what makes me mad though is like they just like do it for sport down here, and or they'll like put out a bunch of grain around a 5-gallon bucket of tannerite, and then sit 100 yards out. I mean, they're so tasty. I mean, it's been years since I've had any, but decades even. But they're so tasty. It seems like such a waste, but it's like, man. But yeah, anyways, but as far as the tearing up a vehicle, oftentimes with the bigger ones, you can hit them, total a car, and they will not just get up and run away, but they will get up and start attacking your car, as will the other 60 hogs that are in their group.
Yeah,
you hit one of them, and the rest of them are like, "Oh, you're done, buddy."
we have open season on razorbacks as well, because they're a pest here. So, and that's everywhere in Australia. You don't need a hunting license or anything to hunt pigs here in Australia.
Yeah, well, but But you're in Australia, so you're only allowed to strangle them with your hands because you can't carry a gun or a knife or a bat or a
Yes, you can.
stick.
Yes, you can. You are allowed. See, that is a misconception. You are allowed to own firearms in Australia. I have my gun safe and everything set up. I've got my shooter's permit. I just got to I have to buy and register a firearm. That's all I've got to do. Yeah, so you're legally we have restrictions on automatic and semi-automatic weapons, and open carry is not a thing. And you know, and unless you can even own pistols here in Australia. You just have to be part of a shooting club, right? That's a misnomer and misconception. So yeah, like I grew up hunting pigs and roos and buffalo and wild cows and donkeys and all sorts of shit.
Okay.
But that was also before the gun ban, though, right?
No, the gun ban happened in 1992.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're not as old as we are.
John Burnell, I got something for you. And how we tie this into blacksmith to the topic is guns use spring steel.
Hey, gun barrels used to be quote unquote Damascus or Damascened as well, which is a different thing.
There you go. All right, so we're good. We're good. We're good with it. We're good with a tie-in. There you go.
Yep. And a lot of people make pointy stabbies with reforged old gun barrels. You forge them down into a bar and then forge knives out of them.
Hey, Ben, I got a question for you. Do you know why koalas aren't considered bears? Because they don't have the qualifications.
None of them.
I knew that was going to be a joke, but do you know the real reason why they're not classified as bears?
Because they're marsupials.
Yeah.
Is it you that I told that joke to, and just answered or whatever? You're like, because they're marsupials.
Probably. My touch of tism coming out.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I'm not making fun of tism.
You got a touch of the tizzy.
Come on now.
It's a touch of the tizzy.
Exactly.
The who's it? Name just slipped my mind. Jared. Like made his own black powder barrels and stuff, and proof tested them and stuff like that. That was pretty neat. Like he tried different versions of forge welding, like doing the spiral or the rolled up, and I really enjoyed watching that little video series he did on forge welding gun barrels and then proof testing them.
Me too. And watching him do that when he did that little series really reinforced to me why early barrels were octagonal or hexagonal, because that shape, particularly using a swedge, is a lot easier to forge together, because they drill out the center anyway, but that shape is a lot easier to forge together than the spiral and all that type of thing, And I mean, it also makes sense for like as an adult watching that type of thing, and then thinking back to the old cartoons like Elmer Fudd and stuff like that, where you'd fire the gun and someone would stick something in the barrel and the barrel would flower. And why it would flower, it's like, oh yeah, the forge welds gave away. That makes more sense, Yeah. See, now trail dust. That's actually a really interesting statement to tie this in. Maybe Yama should forge an arrow tip tonight. Every blacksmith that has made a leaf knows how to forge an arrow tip, particularly a tanged arrow tip, because of course you have socket and you have tanged. So if you think about forging a leaf, that is the basic shape for forging a broadhead arrow tip. And so I realized that one while I was actually at a Geek Fest, which is one of our nerdy festivals here that we have here in Darwin, and I was doing a demonstration, and someone asked me to forge a quote unquote arrowhead pendant, and it was like, I was thinking about it. Was like, oh, I'll just forge a leaf, and then did a little bit of filing and cleaned it up, and it was just a tanged arrowhead, and then I just rolled the what would have been the stem, rolled that over so they could hang it, and made it an arrowhead. So look, to make them properly, like John said, to make them properly, it's not as easy as it sounds, but for pendants and stuff like that, knocking something out, or having that type of thing, and particularly for those of you that might be into Nordic history and stuff like that, and having you can use chisels to put the runes in. It's a quick and easy little thing to make and sell. And again, tying them into leaf springs, if you you can harden them and temper them. And, coil spring. You can harden if you make it out of a coil spring. You can harden them and temper them and actually have something that retains an edge.
You're talking about the arrowhead thing, and I in my brain at the time I was trying to figure out the logistical differences between moving from napped stone points to moving to forged or cast metallic points. And it occurred to me, I mean, and I don't think I ever really thought of this until just now. I mean, I've been walking around the States my whole life, and I swear I can be walking, just looking ahead, and I can see an arrowhead 30 feet off to my left, just sitting on the ground. I don't know what it is. Not so much in my my line of sight, but in my peripheral vision, I spot them easy. And I don't know, it's about the shape or the fact that the color of the rock doesn't blend in. I don't know what it is, but I'm really good at that. Have been my whole life. But typically, back in the day when they were using napped stone points, that was a project that took all day. You would spend all day napping a point, whether that's a little bitty bird point or something that's a little bit bigger for a small atlatol, or even something that's even larger for a spear point. You might spend a couple days on something for a spear point. But those were considered one-time use items, because once you sent it, it's gonna hit something and it's gonna break that point. And so you spend all day to make one shot. Whether that's a bird point on a tiny little arrow to knock one off a limb, or if it's something to take down a mammoth or whatever, is all one-time use. And then with the advent of the metal point, and whether that's forging or casting, I imagine forging came considerably before casting. Now you could recover your point, rehaft it, and go again. And you just saved by switching to metal. You just saved yourself a day every time you shoot it.
I would think.
I think it cast. Go ahead, yeah, Mr.
I think casting came before forging.
You think?
Yeah, brass, bronze, copper. All was able to be worked well before iron.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
those
thinking
would have been cast, not forged.
Steel heads and stuff like that, which I don't think they would do anyway. They would more, at that point, press.
I was actually thinking of the cast iron variety type stuff, and then like they would have had at the time. I guess you could. I don't know. I guess you could have made one out of rot, but and that would have, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like the rot came before cast, but I completely forgot about maybe making one out of bronze or brass. Or even copper.
This is something I can actually talk to when it comes to arrowheads made out of iron or steel.
Hi, Clara.
During the Middle Ages, I do know that both were actually made. As you guys know, I'm an avid history buff, and Matt Easton actually did Matt Easton, I think it was in conjunction with Todd Cutler, did a series on this where they looked at bodkin points, particularly for the English and French wars, 100 Years' War and all that type of thing. And both were made. Both were made because wrought iron bodkins were cheaper / easier to make, and They were for general use. They could be used against armor. However, there's also been evidence of steel, or at least what's it called when it's uh, just got the surface changed to steel.
Case
Sorry,
hardened.
guys, I'm tired. So I'm case hardened. Yeah. So they've got case hardened Bodkin arrowheads as well, which they theorize may have been given directly to archers that were coming up against knights in plate armor in order to heighten the chances that those, because iron will deform against plate, and so by making the wrought iron arrowheads and then case hardening it with a cheaper way to make steel arrowheads, and those arrowheads would hold up better against plate and have a higher likelihood of penetrating the weaker and thinner spots, whereas wrought iron wouldn't have those higher chance. So during the Middle Ages, at least, the height of the Middle Ages, 13th to 15th century, the wrought iron and case hardened steel were both used as arrowheads. So yeah, I just thought I'd add that because it's a little bit of an interesting bit. And whilst we all know of case hardening, we very rarely talk about some of the direct uses of case hardening. We might talk about case hardening some tools and stuff like that, but I mean particularly arrowheads, or things that needed to be hardened but also needed to be mass produced. So arrowheads being an example. That's one way of having a cheap but usable steel without actually using good steel, which would be used for armor and swords, or spearheads and all that type of thing. So yeah.
I believe I watched a show recently, or an episode. I think it was How to Make Everything or something, that the channel that's going through the process of technology all the way from like Stone Age to modern age. And I don't know when he recorded it, but like I recently watched a video of his about case hardening, and the neat thing about him is it's like he's got the experience that he has and the knowledge that he has is pretty much only what he's learned in the process of making these videos. So it's not like he's a metallurgist that got into this, and so his processes and videos and techniques and everything are very like first timer attempts, which is a very unique perspective of that, because you look at it from the point of this is what they very likely went through, some of these early attempts at it, and finding uses for it. If I recall, he was working on like a Da Vinci machine for recreating screws. He was going into the screw making and the very early industrialization stuff, and he was case hardening screws to allow them to last longer in the machines. And it was like, that's pretty fucking cool, building it out, wrapping it up in clay and ash and straw and everything, and then baking them. It was really cool. But I'm noticing people are ducking out, and
everybody.
Yeah, and we are past time. So I suppose we could move on to our final thoughts and then call it a show.
Well, I'll go. Oh, it's already called a show. I will go first. Considering it's not coming into spring for me, it's now coming into, well, for the southern states of Australia, it's coming into what we call autumn, what you guys call fall, because the leaves fall down. It's coming in. It's supposedly coming into dry season for me here in the northern part of Australia. So it is soon, fingers crossed, coming into the time where I get busy again and get things done. I've got a whole heap of things I need to get done in the next. What is it? It's technically, or it will be April tomorrow. So I've got 3 or 2.5 months to get another shed erected. So I have space, a space for someone to occupy. I have to dig trenches and run power to my workshop. I have to do a hell of a lot of slashing and clearing and poisoning for the weeds that we've got. And then hopefully I can actually get my workshop completed and get back to making things, because I'm starting to itch. And then then I can go.
No, go ahead. Keep going. Finish.
So for all of you that have the ability to get out and make things and put them in video format, please know that I do watch them, and because I'm living vicariously through you guys at the moment. I'm still smashing out my book. This is taking a hell of a lot longer than I thought I would, and I was kind of given a boot up the butt this week from Amazon, because I got a royalty check from Amazon for books I didn't even know I sold. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just still plodding along with the Practical Blacksmiths companion, and hopefully getting it done. You guys will all know when I get it done. I'm praying sooner rather than later, because I want to get someone that we all know to do the foreword. But of course I have to finish it and then send them the manuscript before that can happen. So
I'll get to it.
So yeah, and all I see is a blank screen.
Sorry, I'm opening it up on my thing, just to prove that I'm not lying.
So yeah, that's my final thoughts. Get out there for something, please video it, and put it online somewhere so I can at least watch. I may not be able to watch it live if you decide to go live, but please know I do go back and watch it. Or I at least listen to it. I might whack it on while I'm driving, just to listen to the ASMR of the hammer on handle. So yeah. Anyway, that's me, and I'll let you go. And who else is for their final thoughts?
Yeah. So obviously Yames has to close us out, but yeah. I was going to say something, and I don't remember what it was, and it's the product of working a 112-hour work week and getting like 3 hours of sleep a day for the last 7 days. Can't hardly think straight. I damn sure can't write. But I really want to reiterate that I found it to be odd that I'm sitting here like reciting the first 2 words to Goodnight Fire and could not remember the next words and could not remember where it came from. And this isn't today. This is yesterday. Like yesterday was a short day. It's not like I was worked down to the bone and getting a couple hours. I mean, like it was pretty decent. I was just laying here just like, fuck is that? What am I saying in my head? And you definitely need to get in the shop, Yamez. We need to watch you make something. We need to hear you cracking jokes while you're heating something up, and it'd really be therapeutic for the whole goddamn community, not just me. So I really want you to get out there. I want you to try it. I want you to be an inspiration to everybody out there. So that's what I got for my final thoughts. And for everybody else that's out there, y'all be good. Stay out of trouble. It's starting to get warm. Stay hydrated. Get out in your shop. Make something that's fun to do. And I will see you again in 2 weeks or a fortnight.
Alrighty. Yeah, I will absolutely try to fit in an evening in the shop. I absolutely will try. I'd have to run to town and fill a bottle of propane, because I would not be able to burn because we do have a burn ban in effect here. So I can't be sending sparks out. I mean, shit, just lighting the coal fire would, excuse me, heartburn, would be bringing the fire chief down on me, and I don't want that. I don't want them here. But let me turn that off. But yeah, I will see what I can do. Actually have some ideas of things that I would like to do. So absolutely. Have a wonderful time, guys. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy doing it, you're only hurting yourself by not enjoying things. And you can find joy in whatever you're doing, even if you wouldn't enjoy doing it. Anyway, with that, guys, y'all have a wonderful time, and I'm fairly high right now. I mean, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.